Welcome back to our Radical Self-Care for Black Women series. So, when we talk about self care, I just want to remind you that self care is about self preservation. During this series, we are highlighting five major care areas. They include physical self care, emotional self care, mental or intellectual self care, spiritual self care, social self care or relational self care. Today, we are talking about social or relational self care. So, what do I mean when I say social or relational self care? Think of social self care as social connectedness. Social connectedness is essential to our human needs. We are social beings, as you've probably heard before, and even the most introverted person among us needs some level of social connectedness. A blog post on Medium, and I'll link it below. And let me just read how they described social self care. Social self care is the practice of taking the effort to maintain your social connectedness. This can be with family, old as well as new friends, co-workers, and others. The key is to be mindful so as to prevent social exhaustion and to create healthy barriers. Now, I'm not going to get into the details of the blog post, but I will link it in the description box below. One of the things I do want to say is that knowing your personality type might be helpful in this area. For example, are you an extrovert or an introvert? An extrovert, I'm not going to get into a lot of details, but an extrovert is somebody who enjoy spending time with others, whereas an introvert enjoys being alone and spending time with themselves. That doesn't mean that introverts do not like being around people. It's just that they prefer to spend time alone. Extroverts, they get energy from social interactions, whereas introverts, their energy kind of gets depleted when they're in social situation. It doesn't mean that they're antisocial or anything like that. It's just that their energy gets drained. I am an introvert. Most people who know me assume that I am an extrovert, but I am a quintessential introvert. I really enjoy being alone. I always have. I like working alone. Not that I can't work in teams. It's my preference, though, to work alone. Give me my assignment, and then we meet back up and discuss it, that type of thing. So I'm an introvert, and I will link an article that kind of discussed the differences between an extrovert and an introvert in the description box below. Hi, my name is Colette. I created this channel as a safe space with you in mind. I help Black women to embrace new seasons of their lives with purpose and joy by pursuing resilience, practicing self leadership, and by pivoting towards entrepreneurship. If anything that I've said resonates with you, join the community. We'd love to have you. And at this time, I like to encourage folks to grab something to write with, a paper, a pen, your iPad, your phone, whatever, get comfortable. We're going to talk. So let's talk about 7 things that you can do to support your social or relational self-care. Number one, and these are not any particular order, and there are of course more than 7 ways you can do that. We're just going to talk about 7 today. So number one, ask for help. Just ask. Ask for help. Get somebody to help you. People are always willing to help other people. It could be a therapist, it could be a pastor, a rabbi, a trusted advisor. Just ask for help. That's number one. Number two, choose who you're going to spend time with wisely. So, why do I say that? And what do I mean by that? What I mean by that is choose to spend your time with people who celebrate you versus people who merely tolerate you. Now, sometimes we have to be around people that merely tolerate us. And we tolerating them if we're honest about it, like in working situations or sometimes at social gatherings or what have you. But we want to minimize that. We want to maximize being around the people who celebrate us. I remember there was this old television series called Cheers, and some of the lyrics of the song were where everybody knows your name. And what that has to do with is everybody is happy to see you. Now, is everybody going to be happy to see you in reality all the time? They are not. But you want to surround yourself with people that make you smile when you're with them. It's not always a tug and pull when you're interacting with them. In other words, what I'm encouraging you to do is to go out there and find your tribe. And if you can't find your tribe, build you a tribe. So that's number two. Be wise who you spend time with. Number three, avoid toxic people. And you may say, Colette, now isn't that a little judgmental to call somebody toxic? The answer is no. People's behavior will let you see who they are and what type of person they are. Does that make them a horrible, unredeemable person? It does not. It just means that that's a person you don't need to be around if you are trying to boost your social or relational self care. I am reminded of a quote, and I'm sure many of you probably have heard of it by the late poet and just brilliant person, Dr. Maya Angelou, that says, when somebody shows you who they are, believe them. And some of the quotes say the first time. A lot of times, what we do is somebody shows us who they are, and we still hang out with them. I've done that. I've done that where somebody let, hey, I'm not feeling you, or they let, I don't care for you, or something. You don't even know what it is, but it's something that's not lining up between you and this person. The energy's off. It could be your energy, it could be their energy, but your energy is not jiving. And so when you're in that situation, just cut your losses. And it, to me, is not really a loss. Really, what it is you have to preserve your energy. You have to preserve who you are as a person. And sometimes this could be family members. If you have a person who is negative every time you talk to them, you may want to minimize your interactions with this person. Love them from a distance, but you have to preserve your social self care. You have to spend time and make sure that you value that. And all of that goes to protecting your peace of mind, right? Because we're talking about preservation when we talk about self care. We really are. Number four, call or spend time with a trusted friend or family member. Now, this could be done via the telephone, it could be in person, it could be virtually. And you hear people say, oh, it's different if it's not in person. I don't always agree with that. Sometimes talking to a person on the phone is fine. Sometimes doing a Zoom call with somebody, that's fine. Everybody is different. This weekend, one of my girlfriends who I've been friends with for over 40 years called me. Now, I've been thinking about it and I said, I got to call her. But she called me. She sent me some pictures of her grandkids and then she called me and we got to talk. Now, we don't talk every day. We don't talk every week. We don't talk every month. But when we talk, we talk. We love each other. We care about each other. So call somebody that you haven't talked to in a minute and try to beat them at it. I'm going to beat her next time. Number five, host or participate in game night or karaoke or something. For me, I'm limiting a lot of my in person interactions. That's my own personal vision. But if it's possible, maybe do game night. I remember I used to love to play dominoes. When I was younger, my cousins would come over every weekend and we would play dominoes all night long. I loved it. I loved it. So consider doing something like that, hosting or participating. If you're like me and you're kind of careful with in person interactions, there's a lot of things you can do online and virtually. So that's number five. Number six, play with your pet. And if you don't have a pet, borrow somebody's pet. Studies show that there's something to having a pet. And that's why you see so many people with emotional animals and things like that. But that's a connection. It's a connection with yourself. It's a connection with the pet. It is a connection because you do get some social responses. You get responses from like a dog. They wag their tail. They're happy to see you, and that can help you, especially if you don't really feel like talking to a human. Not that that's a bad thing. We all need breaks from talking to humans. I know of a young lady who has a roommate who wants a dog, but her roommate doesn't want a dog. Her roommate doesn't want animals. But this person felt that for their self care, they needed a dog. So what the person did, and I think this is an ingenious, she started walking dogs. I talked to the person, I said, wow, that's such a great idea. And the person said, yeah, this way I can one, get my exercise in because I'm walking the dog. And two, I can get my emotional needs met for walking this dog and petting this dog. And I'm not saying that this takes a place of therapy and all of the other medical things that we should be doing if we need to. But this person found a solution to their problems. And then they said, and then I get paid for doing it. So I said, well, that's ingenious. So think of some creative ways that you can get your social self care needs met. Number 7, join a supportive group or community. Again, this could be an in-person group. Like I once everything lifts, I want to join a line dancing competition group. I like to dance. So as soon as everything's back to normal, if it gets to normal, I'm going to do that. I'm going to do line dance. And then if I can find one online where I can line dance with people online, I'll do just that. Pretty excited about it. But I participate in several virtual communities that I absolutely love. You've heard me speak about a content creator by the name of Stephanie Perry. Stephanie has a YouTube channel, and every Saturday she goes live. And every Saturday I'm on that live. Me and thousands of other Black women throughout the world, we are on the live. And we are in the comments the whole time we chatting. And we have an excellent time. And we see each other's names, we recognize each other. Hey, how you doing? I'm fine. It's wonderful. I love it. This is every Saturday. So this is a part of my social self-care is I get on Stephanie's live every Saturday. Another person that I follow on YouTube is Rashida Dow. Her YouTube channel is called Sheeta's on the Loose. She gives her lives every Sunday, and I'm on those lives. I love it. I'm here for it. We talk grown woman talk, and again, this is a community of Black women throughout the world. Rashida herself is in Mexico City, and she helps Black women take sabbaticals from their jobs. Stephanie does something similar. She shows women how to travel and house sit. So these ladies are phenomenal. I'm a part of their larger communities, and then I also have been a part of some of their smaller communities, and I've made some connections and met some people. For example, Danny, who was here on the channel as a guest and who spoke about essential oils. I met her through Stephanie Perry's one of her events. Rashida Dow, I'm a part of one of her other events. I'll link both of their channels in the description box below. I created this channel so that we can help each other. We can share information with one another, information that may be helpful. And not all information is helpful to everybody. I get that. But I do want to make sure that this channel provides information that's helpful to our tribe. So if you like this video and you found it helpful, give it a thumbs up. If you want to receive more content like this, consider subscribing to the channel. When you subscribe, remember to hit that notification bells so that you are notified when I upload new content. Also, consider dropping a comment. I read all the comments, I respond, and I really enjoy them. Now, I do want to say if you receive a reply to your comment that is asking for you to communicate via WhatsApp and has a picture of me, that's not me. I would never ask you to communicate with me via WhatsApp ever, ever, ever. Ignore that. That's a scam. People do it. They do it on a bunch of different content creators' channels. Also, I will never DM you from my Instagram. The Instagram, by the way, is the Colette, one L, Colette, Elizabeth. Follow the Instagram account and let's connect. Until we meet again, be blessed. And thank you for watching.